This is a long-range folding electric bike that you can buy for $800 in the link below this video. They say it can go 28 miles an hour and do a max range of 90 miles. It's called the Wildeway FW11 3.0, and today we're gonna review it. And here's what it looks like when you get out of the box. And probably one of the main selling points of this bike is this massive battery. It is a 48 volt, 32 amp hour, 1536 watt hours of energy. That is like way bigger than most folding e-bikes. And because the battery is so big, it does weigh a little extra, but that weight is mounted in an ideal place on the bike in the center. The actual weight of the battery is 18.6 pounds, and we are rolling on 3-inch wide, 20-inch tall tires. These should be a little bit more fuel efficient than a wider 4-inch tire, and when it comes time to stop, we have 180 millimeter brake rotors, and they are mechanical disc brakes. You gotta save money somewhere, right? And we do have front suspension. It comes compressed. And there is a basic open and lock adjustment. That should help keep you riding in comfort along with this big ol' seat. Big ol' squishy seat. And it does have one of these little built-in suspension seat posts. Quick release lever so you can easily adjust it. Snap your fingers and it'll be assembled. There is a quick release lever on the front wheel. Comes with a headlight up front and plastic fenders. Mounting points for a front rack. Some cheap folding plastic pedals. It's got a rear rack with a light integrated into the rear. And we'll fire up that rear hub motor in just a moment, but first let's weigh this thing. 251.2 while holding the bike. And stepping on there with no bike, 194.6. So right around 57 pounds without the battery. So right around 75 pounds. And in case you haven't seen how a folding e-bike works, basically the handlebars drop down, this latch pulls like that, get a little handle right there, and the whole thing compacts down just like that. So these folding e-bikes are a little bit better, you know, if you have to load it up in the back of a car or store it in the corner of an apartment. So taking that battery out will alleviate you a lot of extra work lifting it with the battery in there. This one has a double wall guard on the chainring. Shimano tourney derailleur with a derailleur guard. What else would you expect other than 7 Shimano gears on the cassette? And here's a peek at their geared hub motor on the rear. There is no branding, except simply a little sticker there to let us know it did pass QC. Hand grips are ergonomic and rubber. Here's the controls. We get mechanical waxing brakes. Feel like we've seen this before. Throttle will be operated by a thumb throttle on the right side of the bike. And there's a horn down here. They put a display here in the middle of the bike. Let's power it on. So we have seen this display before. It is a color display. Gives us our battery readout here in terms of 5 bars. We're sitting at 3. Trip, odometer, max speed, average speed. And you do get a light button here to turn on your front light. Decently bright headlight. And when you grab the brake lever, it lights up a little brighter, so we do get a brake light. The horn sounds like this. Ho ho ho. That's a freaking loud one. So let's throw that thing on pedal assist 5 and mash on that throttle. So on throttle alone, it'll take us on up to 29.8, and it does show us the amperage output of the controller, so we get an indication of power. And last but not least, the charger they give us is a 3 amp charger, 32 amp hour battery. 32 divided by 3, it'll be about 10 hours to charge that thing from completely empty to completely full. All right, dudes, let's check out the Wildeway FW11 folding e-bike. So of course we're gonna get on out here and try the pedal assist modes in just a minute, and we have the Strava fired up so we can track our official range on this long range folding e-bike. But before we do any of that, first we gotta do the 20% grade. So we know it's gonna have long range, but can it climb hills? Let's give it a try. We have it on pedal assist 5. It shows the amperage output of the controller right there. I weigh 200 pounds, full throttle, ready to go. And it's showing 19 amps of current on the controller, pulling us straight up to 20% grade, not pedaling at all. Right away, zipping out of here, I can tell that this is rolling on shorter 20-inch wheels with only 3 inches wide, so it feels a lot more nimble than, you know, some of the bigger 4-inch wide, 26-inch tall fat tire e-bikes I ride. Having these lighter weight, smaller wheels with a more narrow tread will, in theory, give us a little bit more range or better fuel efficiency anyway. So before we get hauling on this thing, let's go ahead and just start pedaling this thing on pedal assist 0. Forget the exact weight on this one, but you can get it going with, you know, the battery dies. So pedal assist 1, I do believe it is a cadence sensor, so starting from a stop, there's a small delay on that cadence sensor, and oh yeah, it kicks on nice and strong on pedal assist 1. Wow, taking us all the way up to 16 miles an hour
on pedal assist 1. Let's try pedal assist 2. Oh yeah, it gives us another little bump in power. What do you know? Pedal assist 2 brings us up to 20 miles an hour, and I can confidently say I really wouldn't want to be pedaling this bike much faster than this with the gear ratios on it. And there is a noticeable lag from the time you start pedaling to when the power kicks on. Not necessarily a bad thing, because you do always have that throttle on tap, and that gives you power instantly. You know, it's always a trade-off with how quick that power kicks in. If it kicks in like too quickly, it can kind of be annoying because it'll, you know, be a little jolty on the power. But if there's a long delay, it makes it a little bit safer so you don't accidentally get power. But if you want that power immediately, trade-offs. Like I said, you got the throttle. And we're gonna take a little bit different route today than usual. Head on down to South Bay. So normally we go straight here. Today we're gonna pop on down here on the Bayonet Creek bike path and run under that bridge we just went over up there. And on pedal assist 1, if you hold the throttle, it will bring you up to 16 miles an hour, whether you're doing throttle only or pedaling. So you can kind of use it as like a cruise control, bump it on to pedal assist 2P. Speed, same thing, whether you're pedaling or throttle, take you up to 20. Now, typically a class 3 electric bike, throttle only will limit you to 20 miles an hour on throttle only. This one, when you bump it on pedal assist 3, it'll allow you to use throttle beyond. Actually take us up to 24 into a headwind here blowing off the ocean. We'll be out there in a minute. So even on just pedal assist 3, we got plenty of pep here to, you know, get by most e-bikes. Whoa, buddy, that's a big bicycle.
Back up. He's gonna back in there.
All right, I just gotta wait for this guy. Now it's safe. So as I was saying, normally we head that way north over to like Venice Beach, Santa Monica on that. Today we're going through the marina and we're gonna go left down to South Bay. Let's try pedal assist 4. So throttle only gives us, can't really tell, a big bump in power there on 4. And popping out here on the beach, let's try pedal assist 5. So pedal assist 5 here, full throttle. Let's see what we can do. Max speed on this thing. Got the GPS out here. This dude's out here working. We're on throttle only. Oh, we better back off, back off. I like how they just completely gave up on the beach path here. Like, it's just covered in sand out there. It's been like that for like a year. See that? You can just barely see the bike path there, but it's completely covered. So let's try another top speed run here now that we got a little clearing here. Throttle only, 21, 20. And you really can't keep up with the pedaling, even if you want to at this point. But it's got enough juice, man. Doing 18 amps, 19 amps of current, pulling us up to right around 27, 28. Oh, maybe we should have turned there. Oh gosh, well, this sand, not super comfortable on these 3-inch wide tires going over sand compared to 4, but we should get a little better efficiency out of them. So let's talk about e-bike efficiency a little bit here. You know, in your car, you measure your efficiency in miles per gallon, MPGs. In e-bikes, you measure it in watt hours per mile. And the faster you go on an e-bike, the more watt hours per mile it consumes. So we have, you know, a giant battery pack on this thing, but if we're gonna be running 28 miles an hour, you're really just not gonna get as good MPGs, or should we say watt hours per mile, running this high current. So with a big battery pack, you can use it for either long range or speed. Today we're going to be using it mostly for speed and see what kind of range we can get out of it. It's a speed bumps here, so that rear suspension built into the seat post really doesn't do much at all. Oh, that's a big boy airplane coming through there, man. 4 jets on that. We're flying under LAX right now. We're riding under LAX. Dang, another big jet flying through. I would say Korea, and I think they're going to probably North Korea, right? So let's go ahead and get a quick little 0 to 20 acceleration in on this bike. GPS on left hand, full throttle, ready, go! So kicks on, ramps on the power, 19 amps of current. So peaks out right around 20 amps of current, bringing us up to 17, 19, 20. So, you know, it's pretty quick, but, you know, not like insane. Again, long range is going to be the ticket on this one, and also in a relatively small form factor. So as I was saying about efficiency, as you increase your speed, it takes significantly more power. Here we're running 20 miles an hour, and it's pulling right around 7 amps of current, 8 amps of current. You might be able to see it there on the display if you look really closely. Now I'm going to go ahead and throw this thing on pedal assist 5. Now suddenly, you know, it ramps up to double the current, pull at 19 amps of current, you know, ballpark 2 to 3 times as much current as before. And now we're cooking, doing 29 miles an hour, and it's showing basically peaking out, you know, 19, 20 amps of current to maintain this speed. So if you do the math, you're basically increasing your speed less than 50%, and it's taking over double the amount of power to get here. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, you know, we have a big watt-hour battery pack, but you can choose to use that for high speed or long range. But if you want long range, you gotta slow it down, dude. So on my other typical route is kind of more stop and go kind of traffic, so we don't really run high speeds for long. This ride, I've pretty much been maxing this thing out for about 8.5 miles already, because it's just like a long straight, not really, we didn't have to slow down too much for anybody or anything. And as you might know, on e-bikes, speed kills range. Because why? Well, if you just followed my lesson there, you would know. And really, this ride's pretty much just gonna be a wide open speed run, so let's see how this battery holds up. And one thing I did notice about this motor is this thing is like completely silent. I can't hear the motor at all. Now I can barely hear those 3-inch wide tires kind of make a little bit of noise, but in general, this bike is very quiet. And we are just entering the Manhattan Beach area. That is the Manhattan Beach Pier, and there's a really steep hill right here, so let's go ahead and give it a try. These GoPros kind of tend to level out hills, make them look, you know, makes them look a little bit less steep than they are. But I mean, you can see this guy on this bike up here trying to pedal up this thing. We'll put it on pedal assist 5, crank it down some gears, and let's just try it on throttle only. So yeah, it's doing it. That guy gave up. This is way steeper than the California incline. Probably not quite as steep as the 20% grade, but yeah, we're pulling 9 miles an hour, not pedaling at all. And I mean, this is, like I said, pretty steep hill, man. As you can see here, the Manhattan Beach Pier off in the distance there. And we are getting some speed. We are rolling on mechanical disc brakes. Let's give them a pull. They work, they bring this thing to stop. Definitely don't feel as nice as a set of hydraulic brakes, but you know, this is a budget bike, man. This thing's like $800 in the link below this video in the description box. So I mean, considering, you know, how much it costs, I can understand the brakes they have on here. So just crossing over 10 miles on this route, averaging 14.2 miles an hour, 42 minutes. We are cooking, but we're about to dial it down here a little bit. I believe that is the 90210 TV show house right there, is what people tell me. So can this thing handle stairs? I wouldn't ride it downstairs if I were you. Yeah, there's the 90210 house, apparently, is what they say. And down here, speed limit is a little bit lower, so we'll chill. But man, dude, these houses down here, are you kidding me? Look at this. Like beachfront property. That one's for sale. So we are rolling up on a walk zone. We'll go ahead and give these brakes a test and then pop off this bike. Down here in South Bay, they're a little bit more strict about the rules from where we normally ride in Venice and Santa Monica. I actually got a ticket one time riding my bicycle down here, back before I even really rode e-bikes. So just passing through the Hermosa Beach Pier area. We are cruising about 11.5 miles, 54 minutes ride time. Definitely a different vibe down here compared to our normal stopping grounds of Venice and Santa Monica. So we're gonna flip this thing around, head on back home, see what kind of range we end up with. But before we head on home, let's try it on the sand, see how it does. I mean, I already know. Whoa! The tires just aren't wide enough, and it doesn't really have enough power to do it, but yeah. I mean, you could throttle it right up beside you if you want. So we're gonna head on home, track the final range on this thing, but first let me share my final thoughts on the Wildeway FW11. So for the price of around $800, I really don't think there's too many options for e-bikes out there that offer, you know, a large 32 amp hour 48 volt battery. So I mean, if you're looking for something that's foldable and has long range and a relatively low price, I think this is actually a pretty decent option. I like the place where the battery is mounted on this bike. It's low and kind of in the center of the bike, so it handles well. And you know, even though it's like a heavy battery, like the front end and steering feels light, and you can pop that battery off so you can reduce the weight of it when you want to fold it up, lift it in your car, move it around your apartment, whatever you want to do with it. All around, Wildeway FW11, I think it is a pretty good value. If you do want to grab one, click on the link below the video in the description box, buy through that link, and it would help support my reviews here on Tail Happy TV. And of course, I would greatly appreciate your support. But let's head on home, check the final range, because under load we are showing 3 out of 5 bars. Oh, he's going for it, he's going for it, he's going for it. Catch some air, bro. Catch some air, bro. Catch some air, bro. Oh gosh, it looks like he's about to run out into the water. Still pulling strong, dude. That's the beauty of a big battery. So just rolling back into the neighborhood here. 22.2 miles an hour, 39 minutes ride time, average speed, about 13.5 mphs. So definitely a little bit more ground covered and about the same amount of time as usual. And we are showing 3 out of 5 bars on the battery, which is, you know, a little bit ambiguous, but you know, I would say we burned through about half the battery. And you know, like I said, I was just thumb throttling the whole time, running high speed, did not really pedal this thing at all, aside from showing the pedaling demonstration. So if you are looking for a long range folder, I do think this is a pretty good option at the price of around 800 bucks. Use the link below the video in the description box if you do want to buy this bike. It would help support my reviews, and as mentioned, I would greatly appreciate your support. However, if this is not the kind of electric bike you're looking for, watch this video next. Catch you over there.